Today's highly publicized summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin took place in Anchorage, Alaska, a location that carried both symbolism and spectacle. The meeting began with a red carpet arrival, a handshake for the cameras, and even a military fighter jet flyover, underscoring the high stakes and global attention on these talks. Behind closed doors, the two leaders spent hours discussing the war in Ukraine, but when the doors opened, the outcome was clear. There was no agreement. Trump summed it up with the phrase, "There's no deal until there's a deal." In practical terms, that means no signed commitments, no formal ceasefire, and no binding next steps. President Putin described the talks as constructive, but in diplomatic language that often signals limited progress. And perhaps the most glaring issue here was that Ukraine was not even invited to participate. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has been consistent in his position. There can be no negotiations without Ukraine at the table and no peace deal that involves surrendering any Ukrainian territory. He's repeatedly warned that any agreement made over Ukraine's future without its direct involvement would be illegitimate and would not hold. This leaves the summit more of a symbolic engagement than a breakthrough. The flyover, the backdrop reading, pursuing peace, and the photo ops may have signaled momentum, but without concrete agreement and without Ukraine's consent, the conflict remains unchanged. What happens next will depend on whether future talks include all stakeholders and whether these meetings produce more than just images.